Days Explainer. We're jumping right into one of the biggest, most urgent puzzles of our time. You know, when it comes to an issue with a truly global impact like this, things can get pretty quickly shrouded in controversy and competing narratives. But today, we're going to cut right through all that noise. We are diving straight into exactly what's happening to our planet, looking at the causes, the impacts, and most importantly, the potential solutions.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll quickly define the crisis, break down the greenhouse gas effect, map out humanity's carbon footprint, track the global chain reaction that's happening right now, and finally, look at how we can actually slow this global warming trend down. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, defining the climate crisis. Now, we toss these terms around interchangeably all the time, right? But they actually describe two distinct, though intimately connected, things. Climate change is the broader umbrella term. It's all about the long-term changes in weather patterns in any given region. Global warming, on the other hand, is much more specific. It literally just means a persistent rise in the Earth's overall temperature that lasts for a decade or more.
Moving right along to Section 2, the greenhouse gas effect.
So while there are a few causes for climate change, the main driver is the rising concentration of greenhouse gases. Think of these gases like a giant, invisible, heavy blanket wrapped tightly around the Earth. They essentially trap heat and hold onto energy that would normally just bounce right back out into space.
Now here's the thing, gases like carbon dioxide, methane, or nitrous oxide, they aren't all created equal. We measure their punch using something called global warming potential, or GWP. It basically tracks two critical things: how long the gas actually hangs around in the atmosphere and how intensely it absorbs energy. Naturally, a gas with a super high GWP absorbs way more heat, contributing significantly more to jacking up the Earth's overall temperature.
Okay, Section 3, humanity's carbon footprint.
All right, let's look at where all this is coming from. Burning fossil fuels for industrial processes and giant factories, that is the absolute heavyweight champion here, making up about 75% of total emissions. I mean, it completely dwarfs everything else. Agriculture, so things like livestock and rice production, that's sitting around 12.5%. And land use changes, like clearing out forests for cultivation, come in at just 7.5%.
And we really need to talk about carbon dioxide for a second, because its concentration is the highest among all of these greenhouse gases. But, you know, it wasn't always like this. Ever since the Industrial Revolution, our massive boom in global economic activity has caused an undeniable, dramatic spike in CO2 specifically. Basically, we completely rewired how the world operates, and well, the atmosphere changed right along with it.
To put it simply, we've totally overloaded the system. Earth actually has its own built-in natural carbon cycle designed to capture and balance these gases, which is amazing, but human-driven emissions are now pumping out way more than the planet can naturally process. We've tipped the scales, and that exact imbalance is exactly why rising emissions are setting off alarm bells for literally every nation on Earth.
Which brings us to Section 4, the global chain reaction.
So what does this look like on the ground? Well, rising surface temperatures mean our planet's frozen ground and ice masses are literally vanishing right before our eyes. NASA satellite data shows us that the huge ice masses in Antarctica and Greenland are shrinking at a frankly alarming rate. And it's not just at the poles, guys. Glaciers are retreating everywhere, from the Alps and the Himalayas to the Andes, the Rockies, Alaska, and even Africa.
Check out this number, 90%. That is the staggering amount of excess heat from the air that gets absorbed right into our oceans. At first, most of it is just absorbed at the surface, but as global warming ramps up, that heat is being pushed deeper and deeper down into the water. It's actively making our oceans warmer and doing some very real, very fast damage to fragile marine ecosystems.
So you take all that melting land ice we just talked about, and you combine it with the fact that seawater actually physically expands as it gets warmer. The result? Rapid sea level rise. Satellites are tracking this, and it is definitely speeding up. The real-world effect here is huge. It directly threatens millions of people living in coastal populations, fueling severe flooding and causing a major increase in destructive storms.
Now, a climate extreme is not just, a randomly hot day at the beach. It happens when a weather metric pushes way past a specific, dangerous threshold. It's a clear indicator of a systematic shift in the very boundaries of our planet's normal systems.
And because of that shift, climate change is totally radically altering how often these events happen and how brutal they are. We are seeing a distinct increase in incredibly warm days and nights and way fewer cold ones. That translates directly into intense daily extremes, We're talking about more severe floods, harsher droughts, massive hurricanes, and totally relentless heat waves.
Finally, let's look at Section 5, slowing down global warming.
Okay, let's be real for a second and manage our expectations. Climate change happens over decades, even centuries. So it is literally physically impossible to just hit the brakes and reverse all its effects in a few weeks or months. That's just not how, even centuries. So it is literally physically impossible to just hit the brakes and reverse all its effects in a few weeks or months. That's just not how it works. But, and this is a big but, as a global community, we absolutely have the power to slow this runaway train down.
The roadmap to slowing it down really boils down to three things: spreading awareness, rethinking how we get around, and reducing our power consumption. Think about it. Since industry, cars, and our power grids still run mostly on burning fossil fuels, shifting those habits on an individual level actually matters. When you multiply your choices by millions of people, it puts a massive, measurable dent in our collective carbon emissions.
So I want to leave you with this final thought for today's Explainer. The threat is very real, there's no denying that, but if we actually come together, take a stand, and just become a little more intentional in our daily decisions, we absolutely still have the power to protect this amazing blue planet we call home. So what environmentally conscious choice will you rethink today? Thanks so much for exploring this vital topic with me. Keep questioning, keep learning, and keep striving for a better world.